I've heard of weird things like he has a bedroom. See, I would never put up with that. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, you signed up for this, just like they tell me.
Welcome back to Glogosops USA, where truth cuts deeper than silence and every secret has its moment in the spotlight. Just when you thought the drama surrounding Kody Brown couldn't possibly escalate, a bombshell was dropped that has left fans speechless, disturbed, and questioning everything they thought they knew about the man who once called himself the patriarch of a united family. In a twist that stunned even the most seasoned Sister Wives watchers, Kody didn't just go too far, he obliterated every boundary that ever existed. And it all started at what should have been a simple family dinner. But nothing is ever simple in the world of Kody Brown anymore, is it? Imagine this. Kody Brown, the man at the center of a family collapse that played out over national television. Sitting at the head of the table inside Robyn's home, the last remaining wife willing to tolerate his unraveling authority. The camera crews were there, the lighting was calm. Aurora was seated quietly, looking drained. Something about her demeanor was already off, but no one could have anticipated what Kody was about to say next. At first, his words seemed fatherly. He spoke about the world being cruel, how hard it was for young women to find real respect. It was typical Kody dramatic, overprotective, rambling. But then something shifted in his tone. His voice grew, tighter, more deliberate. And before anyone could interrupt or redirect, he turned to Robyn and delivered a line so bizarre, so jaw-dropping, it left the room frozen in disbelief. "If no one's good enough for her," Kody said, looking right at Robyn, "then maybe I should be the one to step in. You and me, we could keep her safe. I could make her my spiritual wife alongside you." Silence. You could hear the cameras humming. Aurora's face went pale. And then came the sob. Not a dramatic reality TV cry for attention. No. It was a stunned, broken gasp from a girl who had no idea her life was about to be dragged into her stepfather's delusional crusade to control everything he couldn't emotionally manage. Robyn didn't move at first. She just stared at Kody like he had grown horns. Then suddenly, with a sharp flick of her napkin and a voice filled with a rage fans rarely see from her, she stood up and said what we've all been thinking for years. "Kody, are you crazy? That is not going to happen. You've lost your mind." Robyn had finally drawn a line, a real one. She wasn't backing down. After years of bending to Kody's needs, after sacrificing friendships with the other wives and defending his worst behavior, Robyn Brown finally stood in front of a camera and said no, and she meant it. Crew members leaked that Robyn stormed out of the room that night, leaving Kody stunned, babbling something about protection and keeping the family whole. But no one was listening anymore. The illusion had shattered. In her confessional, filmed afterward, Robyn was said to be visibly shaken. "He thinks he's protecting her," she whispered through tears. "But this isn't protection. This is control. It's wrong. I love him, but I don't even know who he is anymore." For a woman who once viewed Kody as the head of their spiritual union, the cracks were now undeniable. Robyn wasn't just scared. She was humiliated, and it didn't end there. The rest of the Brown family didn't stay quiet for long. When the story leaked through anonymous sources and footage started circulating among crew members, Christine reportedly reacted. First, Dan, in true Christine fashion, she didn't hold back. "That's disgusting. Full stop. Kody needs serious help. He's not thinking straight," she told a producer, her voice reportedly trembling with anger. Janelle, often reserved and thoughtful with her words, didn't hesitate either. "He's crossing spiritual and moral lines. He needs to step away and let Aurora live her life. He needs so I belong in his twisted fantasy of family." Even Mary, who has long since detached herself from the inner chaos of Kody's world, was horrified. "That's not love," she allegedly said. "That's possession. That's obsession. That's something else entirely." For a family used to dysfunction, this proposal wasn't just inappropriate, was unthinkable. The online response, absolute wildfire. Reddit exploded with threads titled "Kody Brown has officially lost it and protect Aurora at all costs." One user wrote, "This man is so far gone, he thinks he's the savior of a girl who's clearly just trying to find peace in her life." Twitter was no kinder. A now viral post with over 80,000 likes simply said, "Robyn finally said what? We've all been screaming at our screens for years. Kody is insane." Fans called on TLC to pull the plug. Some even launched petitions demanding an investigation into Kody's behavior and psychological state, citing years of manipulation and control disguised as patriarchal guidance. The internet consensus was brutal and clear. Kody Brown has crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. This wasn't just a moment of poor judgment, it was a terrifying window into how deeply he's spiraling as he loses control of the family he once lorded over. So, what was he thinking? How does a man go from family leader to proposing spiritual marriage to his stepdaughter? Psychologists interviewed by media outlets were quick to chime in. Most agreed this wasn't romantic, but it was deeply problematic. One expert described it as emotional enmeshment, where Kody's unresolved guilt, fear of abandonment, and obsession with control have blurred the lines between love and possession. Another called it classic narcissistic collapse, a man losing grip on the image he once curated, now scrambling to rewrite relationships in his favor, no matter the cost. And while TLC has remained tight-lipped, sources say the network is under intense internal pressure to cut ties, or at least address the issue publicly in upcoming specials. Insiders whisper that executives are furious. The footage leaked early, but relieved in. It's a twisted way that the public outrage proves what they've feared. Kody Brown is no longer the face of a quirky plural marriage experiment. It's a cautionary tale.
I've seen men in plural marriage sort of have a tendency to gravitate.
What started as a scandalous outburst at the dinner table has now morphed into something far darker, far deeper, and far more telling of the chaos Kody Brown is spiraling into. Fans who initially dismissed his shocking proposal to Aurora as a one-off awkward misstep are now seeing it for what it really is, a final, desperate attempt by a man losing every shred of control he once held over a collapsing empire of wives and children. With Christine, Janelle, and Mary emotionally detached or fully gone, and most of his children choosing distance over dialogue. Kody is clinging white-knuckled to the last corner of his kingdom, Robyn's home. And within that home, the one person left he thinks he can still influence is Aurora. But what Kody doesn't seem to realize, or worse, refuses to accept, is that even that foundation is crumbling beneath him. According to insider reports, his bizarre fixation on spiritually protecting Aurora wasn't just about love or religion or even concern. It was about power, control, emotional anchoring in a household that he no longer truly commands. And Aurora, she's not a little girl anymore. She's a young woman who sees the manipulation behind her stepfather's concerned gaze. Lisa Porter, a family therapist who's been following the show for years, said it best. This isn't about Aurora, it's about Kody's inability to cope with the collapse of his family structure. He's grasping at anything that feels like order in the chaos he created. The weight of all this hasn't fallen just on Aurora, it's crushing Robyn too. Her bond with her daughter has always been intense. Fans have long noted the overprotectiveness, the codependency, the smothering comfort that defined their mother-daughter relationship. So when Robyn finally snapped at Kody and stood between him and Aurora with that fiery declaration, "She's not your second chance. She's not your property. It's my daughter." It wasn't just anger, it was heartbreak. It was the last shred of clarity breaking through years of denial. It was a mother realizing that the man she once defended at every turn might actually be hurting her child in ways she never allowed herself to see. Since that explosive dinner, the energy inside Robyn's home has turned cold. Sources close to production say Aurora has been pulling away, staying out later, avoiding Kody, and even considering colleges far away just to escape the looming presence of a man she now fears rather than looks up to. And surprisingly, perhaps shockingly, Robyn is supporting her. She's encouraging her daughter to step away, to find her freedom, to breathe without Kody's paranoia suffocating her dreams. It's the kind of support that feels like rebellion for someone like Robyn, who for so long acted like Kody's most loyal disciple. As for Kody, he's playing the victim. He sulks, he broods. Events about betrayal, about misunderstanding, about being cast as the villain when he thinks he was only trying to help. But the truth is unavoidable. The world has changed around him, and he's still clinging to a fantasy where he is at the center of everyone's orbit. That fantasy is dying fast. The upcoming tell-all special is rumored to be even more brutal than fans are expecting. Preview. Footage allegedly shows Robyn confronting Kody face-to-face in a way we've never seen before. Calm, direct, and devastatingly honest. She calls him out. No dancing around the issue. No protecting his ego. Just truth. One crew member leaked that Robyn says on camera, "You scared her. And you scared me too." Whether Aurora appears remains uncertain. But fans are already preparing themselves for what could be the most emotionally explosive episode in the show's history. This entire situation has unlocked a disturbing truth that has lingered beneath the surface for years. Kody doesn't just show favoritism, he builds entire realities around the people he favors, suffocating them in his vision of love and family. And now, for the first time, even Robyn sees it. The woman who once stood as his fiercest defender has been shaken to her core. And fans, they're not shocked anymore. They're horrified, saddened, and angry that it took this long for everyone to finally see the pattern for what it is. Social media is ablaze. Reddit threads dissect every second of leaked footage. YouTube creators, family psychologists, ex-Mormons, and Sister Wives superfans are posting breakdowns of Kody's behavior, labeling it manipulative, dangerous, and emotionally abusive. And perhaps the most chilling part, many of them believe, we haven't seen the worst yet. Because if Robyn's loyalty has cracked, if Aurora is walking away, then Kody has officially lost the last two people who ever tried to believe in him. And yet, somehow, the unraveling continues. Because even as this latest scandal rocks the family to its core, another layer is peeling back, one that reveals the years-long fractures that made this disaster inevitable. Viewers have long speculated about the quiet feuds, the unspoken resentments, the way Robyn clashed with the original wives even when pretending not to. And now, more than ever, people are asking the question, what really happened behind closed doors between Robyn, Christine, Janelle, and Meri? To understand how we got here, we need to rewind. Before the public breakdowns, before the awkward confessionals and angry interviews, back to when Sister Wives was just beginning, when the idea of 4 women sharing a man felt like an experiment in trust and unity. Meri, Janelle, and Christine had carved out a system, a rhythm that, while imperfect, functioned. There was laughter, chaos, parenting, but it worked. Then Robyn came in, and everything shifted. Almost immediately, fans noticed the difference. Kody, who had once been more subdued, suddenly lit up around Robyn. He flirted on camera. A tea. He doted. He smiled more. And the attention he once split between 3 wives now had a clear direction. Christine, who had devoted herself to child-rearing, began to feel invisible. Janelle, the workhorse who kept the family financially afloat, started to feel like a bank instead of a partner. Meri, already struggling with her identity in the family, felt exiled in her own home. Robyn didn't just enter the family, she disrupted its gravity. And whether it was intentional or not, the consequences were devastating. Kody's affection turned into favoritism. His parenting became inconsistent. His presence in the homes of his other wives dwindled. Robyn's children, once outsiders, became the center of his emotional world, sometimes even above his biological children. Christine said it plainly on camera. "I don't feel loved anymore." Janelle admitted she was drowning in responsibility, unseen. And Mary? She was a ghost in her own marriage. But if emotion wasn't enough to divide them, money surely was. Robyn brought debt with her from her previous life. Instead of handling it privately, Kody insisted that the family collectively pay it off. Janelle, who had always sacrificed for the family's stability, was livid. She'd been the primary income source for years now. She was being told to clean up someone else's mess. That tension simmered quietly, but everyone saw it, and over time, it exploded. Robyn's tears became a regular feature on the show. Whether she was begging for unity or crying over conflict, the drama always seemed to circle back to her. Christine once implied that Robyn played the victim to deflect blame. And while fans debated her sincerity, what was clear was this: Robyn's arrival didn't just shift the family dynamic, it fractured it. And now, in the wake of Kody's unthinkable spiritual proposal to Aurora, the full weight of those fractures is collapsing. One by one, every piece is falling apart. The wives, the children, even Robyn. And what's left behind is a haunting question. Was this always destined to fail? Because when a man builds a kingdom on favoritism, control, and fear, it's only a matter of time before the walls cave in. And for Kody Brown, the collapse has already begun. Money, that old silent weapon, was the first real battlefield in the Brown dynasty. Robyn had worked her whole life for security, but when Kody insisted the family pay off her past debts, Christine and Janelle felt slapped in the face. Robyn's once guarded tears suddenly got weaponized, and the Sagawan wife's burden became a collective bill. Christine, who'd left her career to raise kids, worried every cent would drain the family's already frayed budget. What started as financial support soon spiraled into resentment. Then came the Coyote land deal. What was pitched as a fresh start became a flashpoint for favoritism accusations. A sprawling parcel to build multiple houses, but whispers spread fast. Robyn and Kody were quietly jumping ahead in line. Was it influence, manipulation, or just a misunderstanding? The original wives believed they were getting sidelined. Viewers, behind the scenes, still speculate. Was Robyn's involvement tipping the scales in her favor? Was she simply misunderstood? And the tears, the tears. Year after year, season after season, Robyn would break down in emotional confessionals, sometimes calling for unity, other times responding to accusations. But the other wives saw a pattern. Christine and Janelle openly accused her of putting on a show, of turning her heartbreak into a tactic. "He's chosen her," Christine declared on camera. "He isn't hiding it anymore." But this isn't just Robyn's fault. Kody's obsession with Robyn was the fuse. He confessed on screen that she sparked feelings in him he'd never felt with the three of them before. To Christine, it meant neglect. To Janelle, abandonment. And to Mary, well, Mary said it best. She felt like her own marriage had turned into a roommate situation. Kody's loyalty shifted, and fans noticed every step. Parenting became uneven. Praise was lavished on Robyn's kids, while his own blood felt second class. Garrison and Gabriel even came forward, saying their stepfather had emotionally checked out during the pandemic, favoring Robyn's family bubble. Robyn claimed she only wanted unity, love, belonging. But her action-zone home routines, nanny traditions pushed her away from the core group. It was isolation masked as individuality, and many saw it as cold. Soon, she was the odd one, a tiff-knit but distant, striving but separate. Then came the Talals. Gloves jumped off. Christine didn't mince words. She didn't trust Robyn. Janelle's calm but firm voice told the same story. Robyn never truly believed in this plural lifestyle. She'd come for Kody and held on to him. Mary, once Robyn's defender, had stepped back entirely. And Robyn, she stood her ground, insisting, "I never meant to come between anyone. I only wanted love. I never asked to be the favorite. Just wanted to belong." too often, belief in this story is boiled down to jealousy, favoritism, and money. But the real drama ran deeper. Cultural dissonance erupted. Robyn came from an egalitarian, sanitized plural marriage background. Browns? A harsher, emotionally strained world to decades of unbalanced expectations, abandoning wives, and hidden grief. When Robyn arrived wide-eyed and seeking, affection, her simple hope collided with years of hurt and broken promises among the original wives. The result? Fractures turned into chasms. And while the show has fans pointing fingers, Robyn's the villain or Kody's the manipulator, the truth might lie halfway between. The Browns are not a neat TV storyline about plural marriage. This is messy, real, painful, beloved. Betrayed, faith-tested, audiences are hooked, not because of religion or spectacle, but because of shared humanity. We all hurt deeply, love fiercely, and sometimes cling to what we thought would last. Until it unravels. The question now is, can this broken mosaic be pieced back together? Is reconciliation possible after favoritism, financial feuds, and spiritual boundaries were shattered? Maybe, maybe not. But whatever happens next, one thing's. Certain fans are watching, waiting, hoping for closure, clarity, or at least a real ending.